For many years now, Russ and Craig have had many wide-ranging conversations with folks from all over the gaming world. This is one of those conversations.
D6G, the Lost Chapter. Hey, Craig, we're live in Dunkin' Donuts as always.
That's right. And we have sent out the call across the multiverse for people to come and join us in Dunkin' Donuts. In fact, we are already getting ugly looks from the manager.
Right. He's like, don't fill my whole shop up. But
that's right.
Joel's been kind enough to join us already. Joel Morgan. Hi, Joel. Thanks for joining us here in Dunkin' Donuts.
Hey, guys. It's a pleasure. I can't wait to try out this new donut they have here.
I was going to ask you here. So what do you like to eat at Dunk's? What's your favorite?
Right on the spot. We're going right to the hard news, people.
Right.
Well, they have a new croissant and donut smashed together.
Yes, the croissant donut.
They do.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Corona.
No, they're not the same.
Well, they are the same, but you don't want to, violate somebody else's
copyright.
Copyright.
So yeah.
How's it taste, Joel? You have inquiring minds want to know.
It's delicious.
Oh, good. See, that's what we expected.
That's
nothing but the best here at Dunkin' Donuts.
So as we wait for other callers here, Joel, we just want to ask you, so what's on your mind? What are you playing lately?
Well, I just lost to my son at X-Wing.
Oh, excellent.
Ooh, excellent. How old is your son?
He'll be 11 next month.
Nice.
Or no, wait.
Oh, dear. See,
Daddy fail.
10 days, January.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Okay,
I thought you'd said the wrong age. That would have been bad.
Now, he'll be 21 tomorrow.
So this is brilliant parenting here because now you can basically buy X-Wing stuff and claim it's for his birthday present.
That's right.
Well, actually, I kind of did better than that. He had won, or he came in second in a tournament, and he had a gift certificate. And I said to him, hey, we need another E-Wing, and we need some dice. Can we use your gift certificate?
There you go.
Daddy needs a new DMG. Just say it. That's very nice. That's awesome. Now, what's his preferred side? Is he a Rebel or is he Imperial?
Yeah, he's been playing Rebels lately. We both tried new lists. We went to a tournament last weekend, and it was kind of ugly for us. The first tournament we went to at a different shop. Mm-hmm. We did very good. I got first, he got second, so we were very high, saying this is great, this is so much fun. So we decided to try another store, and it was a lot bigger tournament. There was 16 people. And, I pretty much stayed on the last table the whole time. And he won his first game and was at the first table on the second game. And then he got dropped back down. But it was still very fun. We got beat up all day, and it's a great game. So we had fun. So we're trying new lists now. We have another tournament in a couple of weeks, and we're trying to get ready for that.
Nice. That's awesome.
Nice. And what's your preferred ship?
So I've been bouncing around a lot, and we try to get a game in a week, and we usually don't succeed. So I want to try lots of different things, but we've kind of both keyed on to the A-Wing, which has been tough because we only have 2, and I want to run 5, and I always let him run them. So that's
what's it about the A-Wing? Is it the speed, the maneuverability?
Yeah, exactly. The maneuverability, being able to do the barrel rolls and the banks and all that. And I saw someone that ran a list where it had proton rockets. So at range band 1, it's 5 dice. So sounds pretty fun.
On an A-Wing.
Yeah, and it does hurt because he took me out with one of those, one of my ships.
Yeah, that's a heavy hitting A-Wing. Talk about a glass hammer.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So have you guys tried any of the bigger ships yet, or you still like the small stuff? Anybody got sucked into the Corellian Corvette or anything? Or
No, we've got a friend that's bought in a couple of them, and we've done the missions and stuff, but that's the extent of it.
All right. Fair enough. Cool. So great. So what are you guys playing besides X-Wing? Any other games that are doing well with the family?
I try to get him into more and more games, but he's a big StarCraft 2 and
the video games. Yeah,
the video games are getting him. But we did for the holidays. this was really, really good. I've been really wanting to play Werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I just said, you know what? I'm just going to bring it. And, I brought it to a couple of the parties and New Year's and all that stuff. And we played at my mom's. We played a couple hours, the entire family, just playing and playing and playing. And everybody had a great time. So it was so much fun.
Nice.
And I did the same on New Year's. I said, hey, everyone, let's try it. We had a lot of fun playing this. And it's a very, very fun game.
Cool. Yeah, Werewolf, my kids are fanatically addicted to Werewolf. Like, they love to play it at birthday parties. They always ask me to bring it out. And although they like to play with the super crazy, we have the ultimate Werewolf set with all the crazy, like, Cupid and everything in there. And they like the really wacky rolls to get into the game. But yeah, it's a really big hit with the kids. They love that game.
Yeah, we haven't tried anything besides the Doctor, the Witch, and the Seer, the basics.
Yeah.
And I've seen the other ones, and I think that may be difficult for the moderator to kind of keep track and go, oh, the angel does this and the demon does this. Oh,
yeah, there's a whole, like, crib sheet for them. It's quite advanced. It is kind of complicated. It's quite the endeavor, but they love that stuff. Speaking of party games, you know what was a real hit with? I meant to talk about this in the other show, and I didn't even think about it, and this is sort of a crossover between video games. Have you guys tried Heads Up on your iPhone or Android yet, this thing? It's like sort of Soup of the Nation, but it's actually surprisingly addictive where you so it's this game where it's really simple. You pick a category, and then you're supposed to put the phone on your forehead facing away from you, right? Or you can hold it at your chest, one or the other. Right. And it says a word, like if you pick the category movie, it'll say the title of a movie, like Star Wars. And everybody, so it's kind of like reverse charades. Everybody else must, depending on the category, act out, or you can talk without saying the words of the title, give you hints, and then you, as the person holding the phone, have to guess what they're trying to hint at.
Right.
And then to make it really crazy, the phone, using the front-facing camera, records all the people making these crazy gestures and talking, and then you have a lot of laughs looking at it at the end. And you're trying to go through as many of these words as you can. So you flip the phone up when you get it right, and you flip it down when you want to pass and you get it wrong, and at the end it tells you your stats and how many you got right and wrong. And it's a surprisingly addictive little game that appeals to, like, everyone. Craig, did you have any luck with it?
It's a blast. Yeah, I've played it in class, and I've actually played it with my nieces and nephews also, because there's so many different categories now.
Yeah, right.
That you can play it with, as long as the person can read. So that's going to be the limiting factor as to how young the players are.
Yep.
But as long as they can read, everybody can play, and it is a lot of fun. And my only issue with the game is I'm always constantly forgetting which way to tilt it for pass and which way to tilt it for the next one. Like, I got it.
Right.
So I don't think I ever get quite as many points as I should. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah.
It comes down to that tilting.
It is good fun, though. I'm liking that one.
Now, do you look at the cell phone for your clues or something? Or?
So you're facing it away from you, right? So you, as the person holding the phone, don't know the clue. And the rest of the group, so the rest of the room is looking at you, and they're seeing the words in the cell phone. So it's kind of like that old game where you stick a name on your forehead or you have a name on your back. Like, I used to play a party game all the time. My mom used to do these all the time, where you put famous people's names on everybody's back, and they could walk around, and it would say like Ronald Reagan on your back or something. You'd have to ask questions of everybody else at the party, so they give you hints, and you have to figure out what your name is. So it's kind of like that, but you're holding the phone facing away from you, and then the goal is to get through as many of these things as you can. And some of the categories you're allowed to talk. Some of the categories, there's one category that's all emotions. There's one category called accents, where you're supposed to talk in the accent to give it away. So it'll say like Irish, and then it'll say Southerner, and then it'll say cowboy, and you got to, or pirate, and you got to talk that way to get people to guess it, which is also a hilarity.
That's
usually
ensues. That's gotta be fast. That's a fast one.
It's fast, but it's pretty funny because it'll do accent. The accents category will come up with like Christopher Walken, be the accent. So some of them are pretty hilarious. So yeah, it's a pretty cool, and the way they make their money is the game's free, and there's a couple free categories, and then there's a bunch of awesome categories. You pay $1 for each. It'll be like there's a nerd category and a video game category, and sports and all the different. So you can really holidays and all that, kids with Dora the Explorer trivia and everything. So you can really, depending on your audience, you can really have something for everybody. So it's a fun little, great little party game. And the brilliance of using it on the phone is it suddenly turns the phone, which is a very personal one-person experience, into a party game. So it's a pretty neat idea.
Well, it's like there's the analog version, of course, is Headbands, right? Which is a kid's party game where you wear it sort of a la the old politically incorrect Native American feather. Only it's in the front instead of the back, and the card sort of slots in there, and so everybody has a card on their forehead. But yeah, it's a very similar game to that.
So I wonder if there'd be any value if we had the phone up on the TV, you streaming the Apple TV up there. I wonder if that would add anything to the game. I guess everybody would just be able to see the clues a little bit better.
Yeah, I guess you got one person standing away from the TV, so that would work, but that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So that's good. And what other party games do you guys play over the holidays?
Beyond that, this was my first try into getting gamer games in. Beyond that, I don't know where to go next, but now I've got the open door because everybody loved Werewolf, so we'll be playing that. But if I say, hey, what about this other game? But when you try to get everybody involved, Werewolf really encompasses that. And then for that kind of 10 people, I don't know if there's that many. I know you guys have talked about what is the one with the foam guns? Isn't that like a 6 or 8?
Cash and Guns.
Cash and Guns is 8 players.
Yeah.
Telestrations is a good, I think it's 6 to 8. It might be an 8-player game, but Telestrations is awesome. It's the idea behind this game is you have it comes with 8 flip books and 8 dry erase markers. And it also comes with a bunch of other stuff I never use. So it comes with a deck of trivia cards, and it comes with a timer, and I never use those. But I think the way you're supposed to play the game, I've never played it the way it's meant to be played. I think the way you're supposed to play the game is you take a card out and it tells you the clue. What I always have the players do is I just think it's worth it for the flip books and the dry erase markers. And what you do is everybody sits in a circle, and everybody gets one of these dry erase books. And the first thing I tell everyone to do, and it's fantastic with kids, but adults of all, everybody likes it. So on the first page, I tell everybody to write a short sentence that describes something, like dog on diving board, or plane over city, or dancing ladybug, or whatever you want to do. So everybody writes a short sentence. Then what you do is you take your flip books and you pass it to the person on your right. So the person on your right reads your sentence, turns the page in the flip book, and now must draw a picture of what you wrote. So if you wrote, dancing ladybug, now someone's got to draw a dancing ladybug. Then what you do is you take the book and pass it to the right again, and the next person doesn't get to look at the first page. They can only look at the picture that was just drawn, and they flip the page again, and now they must write down what was drawn. And then you pass it again, and the person then draws another picture of what was just written, and you keep going. So it's kind of like a Pictionary version of telephone, and you keep going around the circle until everybody's book has gone all the way around, and then you just hold up the books and talk about. You show for the first the idea was dancing ladybug, and someone drew a picture of this, and you'll see a circle with some lines on it, and this person thought it was a pancake falling, and then it all of a sudden evolves from dancing ladybug to like unicorn impaled on spear. You never know where it goes. And it just makes for some really, really funny little stories, and everybody always gets a lot of fun out of it. So that's another great game that you don't really need to learn any rules or explain much for. You just need the little dry erase books. In fact, actually, you could do it with a bunch of pencils and notebooks, really, if you didn't mind reusing, throw the notebooks away. But it's a great, great little fun game that's really easy to teach. So I like that one. Let's see, what other party games do we play?
And Hex Next, that's what, 4 people?
6.
Yeah.
I've had that thing in my hand for so many times, and I just keep thinking, I'm like, where am I going to be with 6 people or
that's
4
a good
people,
one.
and we're going to play it? But I have to get that one.
Yeah, that's a really, really good one.
Now
I got to try to play that at PAX East.
Yeah, that is a blast, that game. Now, speaking of patrons that usually join us, of course, Andy, our Submariner patron, was actually here in the Manchester area last night and showed up for a gaming night. We will plan ahead.
Sorry, I missed him.
And you missed it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And for some strange reason, the game that everybody decided we wanted to play was, and it was a conversation emerged about blinging out games and then buying metal coins, of course, which then brings up, of course, Spartacus. And of course, none of us had Spartacus. So Andy actually went out into the store, and they had one copy of the game and the expansion, because there's 5 of us sitting around the table, and bought them both just so we could play them last night. And boy, is that game awesome.
That is an awesome game. It's worth $50 just for a play.
It is. Well, it was $40 because of the new prices.
Oh, that's right. The new myriad pricing. Yeah. That's great. Well, I'm glad you get to play with Andy. I'm so bummed I missed him this week.
It was really nice seeing him. We played that, and we played Luchador with all the expansion stuff.
Nice.
That was a fun game too. And I finally played Machu Koru.
Yeah, that's a fun little game. That's the one
I did not enjoy that game.
It doesn't seem like a Craig game though.
No, it's a build an engine game. I felt like I was playing that other card game that you're just rolling dice and building your little engines and
right.
I mean, and there's a place for that. There's lots of people who love it. I'm just not that guy.
Right.
Now, is Luchador mainstream? I know you said 2.0 is out with the ring and all that, but is that out, or is it just...
Yeah, they had a copy on the shelves just last night. Yep. So you can get it's a box that's about 4 times the size of the old box, and I think costs $40 now as opposed to $20.
Wow.
But it's got twice the fun packed in there. You've got more than double the dice, and you've got your own card stock wrestling ring, and you've got card stock standees to tell who's in the ring at any given time, and all kinds of cool stuff. Other play modes. Very neat. Awesome game.
Yeah, that is a good game. Very solid.
Yeah, so that was my last night. Trying to think of party games, though. Well, there's Vampire, which is exactly like Werewolf, which is a little card game that Joe has that whole family loves, and they pop out whenever they can. Barely dodged that at the football game the other night.
Now, Joel, are you a Kickstarter backer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yes.
What's your latest one you've gotten sucked into?
So I haven't done that much lately. I had one where I got it and things just didn't turn out that well. So, and I won't say what it is, but it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth.
That happens.
It'll happen once in a while.
And I just feel like there's so much going on, and I definitely have gamer ADD. So I'm back in the Malifaux, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Anything that's shiny. Like, I've already written down the games we've talked about, and I'll probably buy them tomorrow. And it's like, I'm going to get these and play them. And then anything I buy, I want to paint. So that's why I haven't gotten the Star Wars one yet, because I'm like, I still want to paint my level 7.
Right.
And I'm still doing Super Dungeon Explorer and all those. So I try to stay away from it. When you guys mention something, I'll hop on and at least check that out. But I always feel like I'm behind the 8 ball. I check on and go, it's already funded. I'm out of the luck.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I'm out of the loop all the time myself. You're not alone.
I got sucked into 2 of them recently. So I guess my most recent one that I'm still waiting on, but I think it just shipped, is the Tactiles. You guys hear about these things?
Yeah.
So these are dry erase squares that are like puzzle pieces that interlock. And you can get them one of 2 ways. You can get them just blank dry erase, or you can get them with pre-drawn, lightly drawn grids on them. So the idea is, this is sort of, you lay it down on your role-playing table or whatever, and the DM can then draw out, the dungeon you're walking through and dry erase. And since the squares are 1 inch, you've got a perfectly sized little battlefield you can crank out real quick. So
sort of like custom-made descent tiles.
Exactly right.
That you make that you can change every game.
Yep. So I backed that one. I guess it's been, I don't know, when did that end? Last summer. So it's supposed to be up by Christmas. It's a little late, but I've heard they're just getting them in, so that's exciting. But the 2 games I recently backed, one was Steampunk Rally. Did you guys hear about this one?
No.
So this game was dangerous for me because it has, steampunk. First of all, problem A, everybody's wearing goggles, which means I already like it. And then B, you're building fantastic steampunk machines. So you end up getting these cards and they all go together, and you all of a sudden have this giant flying machine with bicycle wheels and jets, but it's all steampunk style, and you roll dice, which then go into different slots on your machine. So each card has like slots where the dice go, and then it lets your machine do stuff and race around the board. And it just looks kind of fun to me. It's my kind of thing. I hope the components are as good as they look on the site, but that looked pretty cool. But then I do know, Craig, my most recent backing one you also backed.
I think I'm the reason you backed it. Or not that you wouldn't have backed it as soon as you heard about it. Anyway.
I found it out a different way. I found out because I was following Game Salute, and it's another one of theirs. But yeah.
So I think we all backed it on day one anyway.
Yes, Tiny Epic Galaxies, which is by the folks who brought us Tiny Epic Kingdoms, right?
Yeah. Now, what's Tiny? I see Tiny Epic Defenders everywhere. I've never even seen it on a shelf.
I don't know what that is.
Is that like their next Kickstarter that they did and it isn't even out yet? Or
I don't know. I missed that one. I don't know what that is. So, Joel, have you played Tiny Epic Kingdoms at all?
I have not.
So this is the fast playing, like 30 minutes or less, 4X fantasy game.
Yeah.
Really
Very
easy to play,
fast,
really
very
easy to
fun.
learn, really a lot of depth to it for 30 minutes, really.
Yeah.
And so Tiny Epic Galaxies, you might expect, is a similar concept, but now you're in space. So although I like it already because the mechanics don't look like they could be the same. So it's not the same game, just reskinned, which I like. There's a different angle. But again, it's got really cool components. You got little wooden rocket ship meeples, and you got some really cool custom-looking dice and some nice art on some. Each player's got a play mat. So it looks pretty solid. I'm looking forward to. I hope the mechanics are as good. But basically, the price. What's neat about these games is they're so tiny, and there's lots of good components, but there's not a lot. But the component count is kind of small, so they're really very affordably priced. I think I got Tiny Epic Kingdoms for like $19, and Tiny Epic Galaxies I went and splurged and backed it for $24 to have the deluxe version. Yeah. So, or I think I pledged $26. I can't remember, but it's in the low. Anyway, below $30 for a game. I already played Tiny Epic Kingdoms enough to have been well worth the $19. So I'm thinking, even if Tiny Epic Galaxies is a total fail for the combined cost of those two games, I got one good one. So that's not a bad deal. So I'm liking those. Craig, any other ones you've been backing lately, or are those the two?
Yeah, no, sadly.
What else are you doing?
My big one, now that I'm waiting for the backer, what do they call it there when you get the survey? I'm waiting on the survey for, what is it called? It's, Forward Base, I think.
What's that about?
The Forward Base Kickstarter is by Antennasetti's Workshop. Mm-hmm. The British company that makes really cool terrain that I've already got a bunch of, and those cars that I have that I use for Dead Zone. Yeah. They make those, and they had a Kickstarter that just ended in November, and it was for there's something wrong with me, Russ.
Uh-oh.
It's for Infinity Terrain.
What?
Yeah.
You don't play the game.
I know, but come on, it could be anything. It could be anything sci-fi.
All right, fair enough.
But it's really for Infinity. I mean, it's not. There's no way you're looking at this and going, "Oh, this could be 40K," because it's not. It's all stuff that might have popped right out of like Aliens or Avatar or that kind of, that kind of hard sci-fi scenario. But it's a bunch of buildings. I mean, and they're MDF buildings, but they're buildings that they have resin details inside and out.
Yeah.
So they got all kinds of like air purifiers outside and air conditioners and lights and windows, and it's all like acrylic, and they've got solar, like actual reflective solar panels, and the ceilings come off, and inside they've got all the detail like tables and chairs and computer consoles, and I got the one that I got comes with it comes with a giant workshop that you can fit like 2 tanks into, and it comes with I'm trying to find the Kickstarter was very, very confusing in the way it was set up. So I'm trying to find there's just a simple so there's living quarters. I have a couple of those. There's a med lab that actually has like medical like dissection tables on it and stuff like that. And it's actually got inside the detail is like cool. It's like got actual clear acrylic a thing that it's like a medical scanner that your character that your model can stand in, and it's got like a little picture of a human body etched into it. So it looks like it's kind of like from like the original Total Recall, when he walked through the X-ray thing at the space center. Yeah. I've got the workshop. I'm going to get the science center. So I've got all kinds of cool stuff.
Nice.
And, for a game that I don't play. And it's not cheap. That's why I deserve to get my head examined. But it looks awesome. And that's why I've sort of embraced the fact that I just love terrain and I love building.
You're a collector.
I did all that. I spent hundreds of dollars on that Dead Zone Ruin stuff.
Right.
And loved putting it together and loved the way it looks. And I've only used it once, but or actually twice. So, so I'm just embracing the fact that I love terrain.
It's a thing. It's your collection.
It is my thing. Yeah, and some people do, model railroads.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah.
So that's the big one that I'm waiting on, the backer kit, because I know for a fact I'm going to spend more money than I've already spent.
Yeah.
And I've got, I'm waiting on the guys from Games and Gears did their they had a Kickstarter last year that was for battle boards.
Yes.
Just like GW makes.
Yep.
But for much cheaper and a lot. Another company did it. I can't remember which company, and I was in on it, and then it looked really kind of shady the way their fulfillment was like. If you looked at it, it looked like everything was getting fulfilled on a certain date. But if you were in the comments section, they were talking about different dates for each style, and they never mentioned that on it. So I bailed out of that one, and I got in on Games and Gears, who I already like, and I'm a big fan of their brushes and just the way they do their business. And so I jumped in on that, and I got a 4x6 urban table, 28 millimeter urban table, because of all the 40K that I played. Right. Which is just, again, and so they're in 2x2 foot squares, but they're 3-dimensional. So they've got their streets, but they've also got like there's a park area, and there's a different kind, there's all kinds of different cool stuff. And there's like a statue area. And so I got that, and I'm waiting on that. And now with freaking, Firestorm Invasion.
Yes.
10 millimeter game. Well, they happen to make a 10 millimeter urban board.
Oh, because you got to get that.
For Drop Zone Commander.
We'll pick that up.
And I'm like, okay. So I may or may not have sent a little "Do you know who I am?" email.
Yep.
Asking, hey, can I add, I'm not looking for anything for free, but I'd love to add a second board.
Nice.
So it's a good thing that I've got a little money sitting in the bank, because I've got 2 freaking Kickstarters that are just burning holes in my pocket right now.
Nice.
From the outside in.
Now, Joel, do you play any miniature games other than like X-Wing? Are you into any of those crazy things?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty much all of them. And I've recently gotten into again Malifaux 2.0.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So I just happened to my very first crew that I got. I was given. I actually won from a couple of great gentlemen down at TempleCon a few years ago.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah. You guys. That was the first time I was down there and met you guys, and it was when you did Malifaux. So that might have been 3-4.
It was a while ago. Yeah.
It was a while ago.
It was 4 or 5. Sad to say.
Yeah. So anyway, that was my first start into Malifaux, and then the new models came out, and I got them, and they're really, really great looking. And finally, someone just grabbed me, and I've been painting them up, and they said, "Just play." And I got the time and played, and it's pretty good. So I've been trying to play that more often. That's kind of going to be my miniature games. And then I just saw some new War Machine models coming out that I liked, so I play Retribute. I have about five War Machine armies, a couple of Hordes armies. My GW armies are collecting dust like everybody else's.
Yep.
Dead Zone is awesome. I've got the starter set kind of painted up and ready to go. And like I said, I like to get these things and get them fully painted. And so right now what I'm working on is Super Dungeon Explorer. I want to get that painted. And then my Malifaux stuff. That's what's on the painting table right now.
Nice. Now, how do you manage do you have a terrain collection as well? Are you like Craig and you have a massive set of things to play on, or no?
I wouldn't say it's massive. My tables kind of look the same when I play the different games. I've got the green scenery and a couple of houses that I've purchased. Try not to get too crazy because I'm limited to the games that I'm playing here. Because my son really isn't into the miniature games yet, but it's okay. I've got another son. The chances are still there. He's
That's right. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah, I keep getting them.
Just keep having them until you get a win. You just keep making them.
So he's 6, so he's still learning to read. And once he gets that done, then we can start stuff. And it's funny because I don't know if you guys had this, not issue, but with the kids, they kind of want to play with your models because they see you painting them and they want to do it, but they just want to play with them. And when you say, hey, let me show you how they work in the game, because the games are pretty rules intensive, you can kind of lose them on that stuff.
My oldest daughter, it was weird. My oldest daughter, my youngest daughter's kind of like that, but my oldest daughter, she'd come downstairs and I would be just painting. And so she thought the way and she's always had this artistic tendency. She loves to draw. Like if you leave her alone, she'll end up just drawing like pictures. Like I'll come downstairs and she'll have the computer on. She's not playing games. She's got pictures of like every My Little Pony and she's freehand drawing them, and they look like almost exactly like them, which is kind of creepy. She loves that's her thing. She likes to draw. So when she sees me painting, the artist in her is like, I want to paint. So she actually got into. She never asked me to play. She asked me to paint first, and then later when she found out there were rules, she wanted to play it the proper way. So it was very strange because she did the whole. But my youngest daughter is very much like, I just want to play the game. I don't care if they're painted or not. So I got two different kinds really. But yeah, I've had a great time with them. But I'm kind of like you, Joel. I like to paint the models, and I'm not a terrain builder like Craig is. So I have the bear. I've totally cheated. I bought one of the green mats. The GW ones, the really good GW ones. The GW has the one that's like rubber bottom and nice green grass on top, and it's really durable.
Static grass. It's crazy. They don't
really
sell
good.
it anymore.
They don't. And for a while it was available. It was like $40. I can't remember. It seemed expensive, but nowadays it's pretty cheap because even the Zuzzy mats are kind of pricey.
For what it is, it was ridiculous.
Right. So,
I don't even think it was $40.
It might have been cheaper. So I got one of those, and then I've been buying for my daughter at various birthday and Christmas events. She gets more terrain. So she has most of the Gale Force 9 table terrain, which is fantastic. They have boxes of trees that come with the really good, almost the old style. Remember the old style GW trees? Those really, really good ones. They're not but they were like fuzzy green. It's like those kind. And then they also come with the plastic bases that are pre-painted. You just got to flock them. And it comes with the flocks. You just glue the flock on, you're done. I got the large group of those, a small group of those. There's like a river, and then some elven ruins, and it was like, I don't remember. It's like $20 a box or something, pretty affordable. And I was like, wow, this is cheap. So I ended up, over the course of a couple of years, for a birthday, Christmas presents, now we've got enough stuff to make a nice woodland table. And it works well because she plays Circle and I play Troll. So we have a nice little battle in the Thornwood Forest there. And it's good times. She really likes it. And we have one table. Then I have my Dead Zone stuff and a couple of small things. But so I don't have a lot of stuff. But then I'm lucky enough to live near stores that have pretty good terrain. So
right.
But yeah, I'm always having a blast with that. In fact, we got to play again. We got distracted by D&D, but we're ready to get more. They were just asking me the other day, can we paint more models? Can we play more games? So, and we did get a pretty good kids group going for a brief period of time. But when school started up again, it kind of fell apart. But over the summer, we had a really good little group of maybe like 5 or 6 kids that were all between the ages of like 8 and 12, all playing. So it's good times. I liked it a lot. Let's see, what else are we doing? Any we can make some little achievements and dunks here. What kind of, Joel? Have you seen any new? Any recent holiday movies or anything geeky movies you liked? What did you think of The Hobbit?
So I haven't seen the most recent one.
Okay, good, because Craig and I saw it. And we were debating the quality of the appearance of goats. That was the big debate we had.
That's the big issue.
Yeah.
What I think we should talk about is it's mid-season right now on TV. Has anybody discovered any cool TV during this drought?
Oh, I have one.
Sort of look.
I have one.
What have you discovered?
Agent Carter.
Well, that's not obviously that's an amazing. That's not like a find because it's a drought. That's something they purposefully did.
All right, can we?
Okay, but no.
Can we kibitz about? Have you seen Gallivant yet?
I have now watched 2 episodes of it.
You made it through a second episode. That's pretty impressive.
Well, here's the issue, though, because I TiVo'd it, so I didn't have to deal with the commercials. But my God, you are right.
I mean,
it's not like it's a lot of commercials. It's like every 5 minutes there's one commercial.
Right. But okay. So even if you get past the commercials, is it not a train wreck? It
is a train wreck on so many But you still haven't seen any of the big names. That's my thing.
Well, but like Alan Menken, I mean, the guys behind the music are all great.
No,
it's
I know.
Like, how do they screw this up so bad? I don't understand.
But I think if you take the music alone, it's pretty good. It's pretty witty. There's some witty songs. I mean, I think the story is really lame.
Yeah.
I think the acting is being purposefully scenery chewing cheesy, which I think is sad because I don't think if you look at Monty Python is Monty Python, you're not going to recreate that. You're not going to catch that, lightning in a bottle a second time. If you look at The Princess Bride, they're sort of taking their characters seriously. They're not being all cheeseball.
Right.
And these guys are like, hi, I'm being cheeseball.
Yeah, right.
And that's that's great for a Saturday Night Live skit that's 5 minutes long.
Right, but you can't do 4-hour episodes.
You can't do that for 4 hours. So
yeah. And that's the problem. I was really hoping for a Princess Bride or Holy Grail, and it's not even in the same.
No, and they thought that. I mean, you can tell watching them. They really
thought
think
that's what
they're doing.
Yeah, they really did.
And I feel bad because I like a lot of the actors that are that are involved in the project, but I'm just like, ugh.
Have you seen this, Joel? The Gallivant thing?
I have not, and I'm actually glad that I haven't now.
Yeah. So if you want to watch something really bad, it's on for free on Hulu, and it's everywhere. So someone paid a lot of money to get this out there. But
yeah. Oh no, they think they made a great thing. Yeah.
I don't know what the ratings were. Maybe it did fine. I have no idea. But
according to the commercials, it did fine.
Well, I mean, they got enough money in advertising to probably do it again.
Right. Yeah. And, well, that's sad. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
And then what made it worse was, I don't know if you noticed this, Craig, if you actually watched the ads, but someone had the bright idea. Hey, you know what? This show is a musical, so we will put all the ads in song.
All of the network promos are in song.
Oh my God, was it bad? Because it might have been a little funny the first time.
Yeah.
But by the fifth commercial, in the fifth commercial break, in the first 15 minutes of the show.
Well, they had that idea, but they didn't follow it to its logical conclusion, which is include all the songs. So it's the theme song of Gallivant, the tune of the theme song
over and over again.
Every time there's a promo.
Oh man.
Talk about
a bad idea.
So when there's back to back, it's like, oh my God, I'm just like looking at Modern Family like twice. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
my kids
too much money. I watch that and I go, how I could do that. How come nobody's paying me to make crap like that?
Right.
I can get a lot more money.
If you want a bad musical, I can cover that. I can do a bad musical for you.
Just televise the bar.
Right.
If that's the bar, then hey, I'm there.
Right. We've written really, really bad parody songs. We could do this. So
my big mid-season doldrums find was The Blacklist.
Ooh, I've not seen that. So what is that about?
I am loving The Blacklist because of David. What's his name? Spade.
Yeah.
What's his name?
What's The Blacklist about? What's the premise?
The premise is I don't want to give anything away, but the premise is awesome. You've got this woman who's a profiler for the FBI, and she just got moved to this sort of anti-terrorism special task force. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, one of the 10 most wanted people in the world just shows up at the headquarters, and he walks in very calmly. I need to find what this guy's name is. Because why is that not working? IMDb.
Internet fail.
Come and save me. No, not an image.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
This is quality radio right here.
Okay. And it's James Spader. Yes, from
James Spader.
From
he's Ultron.
Stargate.
Yes.
Anyway, so he walks in, and of course he's older now, and he's bald, and he's got this signature look with this long black trench coat and this sort of hat, and he just walks in, and in the middle of the lobby he kneels down and puts his hands behind his head, and all the guards are like, "What the? Oh my God, it's him!" So all these machine guns are coming out, and he's like, "Hi, I'm turning myself in, and I'm only going to talk to her." And so there's something about her that he has this connection to her, and you don't know what it is. And he's basically he's like, I have a deal for the FBI. First of all, you're going to let me go. They're like, we're not going to let you go. You're like one of the guys we want the most. And he's like, no, because I have a list, and that list is people who are so bad you don't even know they exist. But they're the ones who are causing all the problems in the world. They're the terrorists behind the terrorists.
Oh, wow.
They're the criminals behind the criminals. And he's like, here's one that I'm going to give you right off the bat. And this one is going to prove that my list is true. And so the first episode was like this really ridiculous bad guy. And they're like, oh my God, that's the guy who's been doing all this stuff. And so they catch him, and he dies. And you find out that, that James Spader's character, whose name is Red, Raymond Red Reddington, is actually, he's got this nefarious scheme that he's working on And every time he gives them a name and they bring somebody down, he's getting something out of it.
Oh.
Like there's a guy who he specializes in covering up criminal masterminds who want to die and restart their life. They want to fake their death. So he fakes their death for them. But as insurance, he's been keeping a little database of all of them and where they are. And he's done this for 400 massive crime lords in the last 30 years. And so nobody knows this, and all of a sudden James Spader's like, here's the next name on the list. It's this guy. He helps people, bad people get away and fake their own death. And they're like, oh my God, we've got to get it. And of course they want to catch him alive so they can find out, who all these people were. And Red sort of manipulates the situation so the guy dies. Nobody knew there was this list. He ends up with the list, and then the woman FBI agent's like, oh my God, you did this to get the list. And he's like, hey, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't getting something out of it.
Wow. That sounds pretty awesome.
He's an anti-hero. You have no idea really what his plans are, but he's like the criminal. Everybody in the world knows him. Half the people are afraid of him. The other half are trying to kill him. Huh. And he's just not afraid of anybody.
The Blacklist. Is that the name of the show?
The Blacklist.
All right, I'm going to check it out.
I'm loving it.
The Blacklist.
And a lot of it is cheesy, admittedly. But it's because this guy is just so cool. And the poor FBI agent girl is like, in your head, you're like, oh my God, I know what the connection is. And then there's a whole episode about how that's not it. You're like, damn it. And then you're like, oh, okay, now I know. And then there's a whole episode about how that's not it. So it's kind of like they're leading you along, but they know exactly where you are. And so they just keep sort of building the world behind you. It's only in its second season. And
that sounds great.
So I'm really enjoying that.
Well, the Dunkin' Donuts guy has given us the evil eye, Craig.
Is that what that sound is?
Yes, he's getting ready to kick us out. So we got to wrap it up here. But Joel, thank you so much for joining us here in Dunkin' Donuts today. We really appreciate it.
Hey, it was great.
Thank you.
Thank you for making it so that Russ and I weren't all alone.
I know it's very lonely in Dunks, but it's not at least someone else.
This giant echoing Dunkin' Donuts. It's just empty.
It is. So thanks, Joel.
Except for you, Joel. So thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for all your support on Patreon. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, have a great night. And good night, everyone.
Thanks for purchasing a D6G Lost Chapter. Supporting the show helps it grow.